Here's a segment from a recent Gun Talk radio episode. You can listen to all the Gun Talk radio podcasts however you tune in, or check out guntalk.com for more. Talk about, well, pretty much any kind of guns, rifles, pistols, shotguns, it doesn't matter. And, of course, we love to accessorize our guns and modify them and change them up. And along the lines of that, one of the companies that has been offering great products for us to do that for a lot of years is Lone Wolf Arms. Joining us right now is Ned Treadaway from Lone Wolf. Ned, thanks for Nate, rather. Thanks for being here, man.
Hey, Tom. It's my pleasure to be able to join you today.
You bet. All right. So, Nate Treadaway, you're the CEO, is that right?
That is correct.
How did this company come to pass in the first place? Where did it come from?
Well, so it started, and I don't even remember the exact year, Tom. I should probably know that. But a gentleman named J.R. Shepard, who was a competitive shooter, I think this was back in the mid to late 90s, started the company. And he's, he, as a competitive shooter back then, he had a limited number of upgraded aftermarket components that he could find for his Glock. And so he would just come up with these ideas and find somebody to make them. And you know how the story normally goes. Somebody else will see it and say, "Where'd you get it? And how do I get one?" And that's essentially, how he got started. And he developed, quite a few upgrade components. So, the things like triggers and different cuts on slides and really just anything that you could do to enhance the performance of the Glock platform.
Well, it seemed like for many, many years, if anybody asked, well, what can I do about the barrel of my Glock? Everybody just went automatically, Lone Wolf, man. You got to go get a Lone Wolf barrel. So, I mean, when I think of Lone Wolf, the first thing I think of is barrels.
I wouldn't disagree with you. That's been the heart of what we've done for a long, long time. Of course, it's not the only thing, but it's not. One of the mainstays.
So what makes, first of all, I know we're going to get into some other things, but what makes a good barrel?
Oh, that's a loaded question, Tom. All right, so let's start with premium material. There's a lot of different materials that are out there available. We use a premium 416 grade stainless steel. To me, the other things are being able to hold, anybody can make a good barrel once. The question is, can you make a whole production run up and be very consistent with it? And that's what we try to really focus on. And it's your chamber. Do you have a smooth chamber? Is your rifling concentric to the bore? Do you have smooth rifling? Are there imperfections in the rifling? A good crown? I mean, all those sort of things, play in the performance of a pistol barrel, really, or any kind of rifle firearm barrel for that matter.
And I know that you offer an awful lot of them now that are threaded for suppressors. Any idea of what percentage of barrels going out the door are threaded these days?
Oh, that's another great question. I would love to be able to answer that with an exact number, but I would say probably directionally 30 to 40% right now.
Oh, okay. That's kind of what I was looking for, just a general idea. I mean, and going along with that, I mean, that lets us spin off to some of these other things you guys are doing. As long as you're making threaded barrels, you might as well make something to thread onto them, right?
Like a 45 caliber suppressor? Sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, like that. When did you start doing that?
So Lone Wolf introduced the Eliminator suppressor back, slightly before I came on board. I actually just joined the company at the first of this year.
Okay.
And it was introduced back last fall. So we're coming up on the 1 year mark with it. Great little pistol can, modular. You obviously shoot it down on a 9mm, but it'll handle anything up to a 45, and really a quiet can, very durable. Good value on the price point, and has a lifetime warranty. It's kind of hard to argue.
Yeah, no kidding. What are some of the other things that you do that people don't know about when you start telling them, they go, I didn't know you made that?
Let's see here, Tom. The other big category, there are two other big categories. On the component side, we do a lot of slides. And again, if you get a stock Glock for just, a starter platform, it's very functional. they perform reliably, but they typically lack a lot aesthetically speaking. So,
right.
We do a lot of customization in our shop. We've got one machine set up that does nothing but running external profiles on slides all day long. And I think we have something like, I don't know, it's close to 50 different custom configurations that you could pick or choose on the website.
Wow.
Based on, what serrations you want, what color you want, whether or not you want, any other, an RMR cut or anything else on it. And, you literally can customize it 10 ways to Sunday. And there's a lot of people that like that personalization to their firearm. The other
go ahead.
category that we make, if I can just speak to it really quickly there, and I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's all right.
We do make a complete, Glock compatible, reverse compatible firearm called the LTD. And, one of the things that we like about that particular pistol, and I believe you've shot one several times now, it's got more of your 1911 grip angle. So it's a lot more comfortable and intuitive for a lot of shooters there. A lot of people feel like that Glock grip is a little bit too vertical.
Well, for me, a typical Glock grip, when I come up, the barrel point's high. I'm just, and I grew up on 1911s, I guess. And so the idea of saying, we're going to build you a Glock or Glock-ish gun with a 1911 grip at that angle, that's kind of like the best of both worlds.
We like to think so. It's certainly when we do the quote-unquote Coca-Cola test and, the taste test, of people typically like our grip angle better. And, you spend a little bit more money than a factory Glock, but not a whole lot. And I think what you wind up getting with those extra features and some custom-like qualities and that grip angle, they go a long way in my mind.
Well, I'm looking at the website now. If people want to take a look at it, it's Lone Wolf DIST, I guess for distributing, lonewolfdist.com. Looks like you got 9 of these new pistols. I mean, and these are complete guns. These are not kits.
That is correct. You can actually, and what happened was back when the COVID firearms craze hit, we were selling literally everything that we could get. And at some point, somebody just sat down and said, look, we already make every single component for a complete build. Why don't we offer a complete pistol? And really, the Lone Wolf model has been built predominantly. We do have some strategic retail partners in wholesale, but the history of the business has been a direct relationship with the consumer. And so a lot of these parts were sold that way. But once we started getting into the complete pistols, it helped us to develop a larger presence with the retail community.
Sure.
So it certainly helped. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can spin it, and quite a few models out there available now.
Now, how are these available? Obviously, you have to have an FFL, have to go through that. Can people buy them directly from you and have them shipped to an FFL?
They can. They certainly can. Anything that we have on the website is available to purchase and transfer to another licensed firearms dealer. But there are also a lot of independent dealers that are out there stocking the Lone Wolf firearms, and you probably would find a little bit more competitive price if you could get it locally.
And if you're a dealer, you're listening to this and you're a gun store, you're thinking, hey, I want to have that. They just contact you to start stocking?
That's correct. Yep, there's a contact information on there, and would be more than happy to talk to them about getting them set up on selling the Lone Wolf goodness. Also,
I'm looking at you offer, all kind of cool gunsmithing, labor, laser engraving, refinishing. I mean, it's kind of crazy all the things you guys offer.
Well, within the Glock world, it's pretty expansive, and that's one of the areas that I think there's some a lot of different things that we could do with it. We're trying right now, honestly, Tom. We've been spending the last, I would say, 6 months going back through, and we've been updating a lot of our prints and getting ready to be able to do some other things. But we wanted to make sure that before we turned our attention to any new categories, we wanted to make sure that all of our designs, that we didn't lose focus or attention on anything that we're doing. And so we're going back through and updating them to more current, engineering standards. We're using a process called GD&T, which allows for a little bit better control, a little more quality control, a little more consistency from batch to batch. And so we spent a lot of time doing that. And then later on this year, first of next year, I think you'll see some new things coming from us that may be, again, more things that are in the handgun world, but they may not be quite as Glock centric as we've been historically.
Okay, well, as soon as you're able to talk about those, let's get you back on here, okay?
Hey, I'd love to do that.
Sounds good. Nate, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Nate Treadaway from Lone Wolf Arms, making a lot of cool stuff. Check out their website. Thank you, sir. We will chat again another time.
Day.
All righty, you too. 866-TALK-GUN. Have you ever used the Lone Wolf products? Would you like a Glock with a 1911 grip angle? I love the sound of that.